Hello. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me. I appreciate it. Appreciate your time. You know what? Today I wanted to talk about work from home and work from office. Wolf Richter from Wolf Street had a really interesting article on this a couple days ago with a whole bunch of data. And what the data shows, we're really not returning to the office. The return to office numbers or work from home numbers are about the same as they've been for the last 2 years. And here's what they are. According to key cards, that is the companies that track people getting into the office using a key card, only about 54% of workers compared to pre-pandemic numbers are actually reporting to the office. And that's not to say 54% of all workers, because before COVID, not everybody worked from the office all the time anyway, but only 54% of the typical number of people that went to the office pre-pandemic are going to the office today on any given day. And the numbers are actually even more interesting than that. I'm gonna talk about some of the numbers. I'll show you a chart. And then I'm gonna try to link it to what are the implications of this? Is this a good thing or a bad thing? So as we go to the numbers, I already mentioned 54% of any one day keys are actually being used to enter the building. The highest is in Houston at 65%. The lowest is in Philadelphia and San Francisco, which are in the low 40s. But even more than that, there's some other really interesting statistics. Actually, 29% of workers report, or 29% of all full work days are now spent working from home. Meaning that sometimes you go in the morning and you go home in the afternoon, but 29% of all full work days are work from home. And in fact, if you actually look at people that, and then you can go to 13% of employees never go to the office. So 13% never go to the office, and another 26% are hybrid. So you got a full 39% that are either officially, partially, or fully work from home. And I'll show you. Let me show you the article. Let me show you the statistics. So here's a little article right here. This is the Wolf of Wall Street. You can see share of work from home, full paid days work from home. You can see here we are pre-pandemic. Here's the pandemic. It went up to 62%. Since the pandemic, it's pretty fine. Matter of fact, there's more work from home days in 2025 than there were in 2024, and more work from home days in 2024 than there was in 2023. Isn't that surprising? I find that really, really surprising. And so we got some pretty interesting data coming in. And the thing I want to go back to, what does it mean? Is that good? Is it bad? What does it all mean, right? Now, I think I've shared before in some previous posts a couple of other kind of phenomenon going on. And here's the first phenomenon. According to a recent Gallup survey, workers are more disengaged than ever. They lack engagement. They're unhappy with work. They're feeling unappreciated. Nobody cares for them. They're not fulfilled, and they're not loving work. Now, how much of that is because they're working from home, right? All right, I'm totally now, the American worker is completely disengaged. As a matter of fact, only 31% of U.S. workers self-report being actively engaged in the work. Only 31%. That means 69% aren't fully engaged. And yet, if you ask the average person, they love work from home. They love work from home. But my own opinion, work from home isn't nirvana. It's not a great thing. We have all sorts of unhappy workers, unfulfilled workers, right? Unproductive workers now. Productivity is falling at work from home. Now, the next thing you have to look at, I think I recently shared an article from the Atlantic, and it was called The Epidemic of Solitude. And what it highlighted is how lonely Americans are. Americans are now depressed, they're isolated, they're lonely. So here's what we have. We have people disengaged at work, unhappy at work, feel like they're uncared for, they're not connected to their company, nobody cares about them. And then in their own social lives, their family lives, they're more isolated, they're depressed, they're unhappy. And a lot of this is because we don't have the social connectivity that we used to have. And so why people are loving the fact that they can work from home. Movie theaters now, used to be their slow movie was, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Those are the busiest times. They actually are starting to not show movies after 8 or 9 because, people are working from home. They go to movies when they want. Same thing, happy hour is totally different. Happy hour is now busier than the 8 o'clock hour at most restaurants. because traffic on the freeway has completely changed. So we have all this freedom. We can do the laundry, watch the kids, go grocery shopping, let the a plumber come in or the workman or whoever it is. All this conveniences, but these conveniences are leading to a high disconnectivity. It's not a super positive thing, but it's interesting. And work from home is here to stay. I think the best thing that we can do is we can just try to create hybrid situations. We have to create connectivity. People need people. So we have to create, connectivity, and we have to innovate on how we get, as employers, we have to innovate on how we get employees to feel connected to us and feel cared for. And that's going to be a bit of a trick. And the companies that can innovate that way, the companies that can create connectivity with their employees, can create some sort of satisfaction and joy with their employees, are the ones that are going to thrive in the future. Anyway, I found it really interesting. The actual article, which I'll put a link below, is really more talking about the commercial real estate space and whether it's going to come back or not. And Wolf was arguing that, hey, hold on, it's not quite coming back yet. But that wasn't the interesting thing. The more interesting thing to me is just how do we work in it? And you want to know an interesting note? One of the industries that actually has the highest percentage of people working from the office, real estate. Yeah, now real estate includes property management, the whole spectrum, but real estate actually scored pretty high. Other endeavors didn't, especially some of the tech ones where they work more remotely. But real estate, mortgage, we're doing okay. If you're thinking about, if you run a team, you're a loan officer or you're a real estate agent and you're a producer, you have a team, how are you getting your teams together? And if you own a mortgage company or run a mortgage company, what are you doing to get them all connected? What are your critical points of contact with your team members or your employees? Think about it that way. Anyway, I hope you got something out of this. It certainly is a interesting topic to me. I did a write-up on this in LinkedIn today. You can go to my LinkedIn, get a summary, bullet points, and get a link to the article. With that, hope you're having a great week. Thanks for spending some time with me. I look forward to talking again with you soon.